Hello everyone, welcome to Sunburned Plays, a Trilogy episode 101. Seems like we're finally gonna learn about Godot. I mean, we already have, like, the basic gist of some stuff. But we don't know the particulars. I mean, we're dealing with, like, spiritual stuff, so, like, could he literally have been actually brought back from the dead? Like... I don't know, man. But, why would his eyesight be bad? He was poisoned. It's an antique dresser. Don't you dare open it, Phoenix Wright. Now I know how Maya feels when I tell her not to touch things. What a pity. It's full of nothing but old clothes for the acolytes. I thought we weren't opening it. I'm from the prosecutor's office. I can do anything. Yeah, you can do anything, except stand up to a 9-year-old girl. Look at those wafer-thin mattresses. I'm sorry, Phoenix Wright. Wafer-thin? Yeah, you know, thin like a wafer. In other words, uncomfortable. That's how we describe things like these mattresses. I guess you must say wafer-thick or something back in Germany? Not about these mattresses, certainly not. Why are we looking at this again? Misty famous, the Grange handling technique, but why would anyone cover it in gravy? I can't make out what's drawn on this scroll at all. I'll never understand you Americans and your so-called artists. Artists? Yeah. I guess we're moving. I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? Who's that? Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Ah, my brain! This is driving me nuts! Ah! Is something troubling you, Scruffy? Please don't whip me like that all of a sudden, sir. It was merely a simple greeting. A friendly tap on the shoulder. With my whip. So what's up, Gumshoe? Is something on your mind? How did you know, pal? Perhaps you were trying to decide if you wanted to wash that off or not? How did you know, sir? Oh, yeah, I nearly forgot. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I, kinda already snuck in there. Is he trying to be clever or something? So what's behind there, Scruffy? Huh? Kind of garden-like, garden. A garden? Yeah, anyway, it's under investigation right now, so keep out. I'm not telling you, I'm asking you, pal. You got me? Isn't it normally the other way around? Well, see you later. I just noticed that. So, shall we adjourn to this garden, Phoenix Wright? Of course, what else would we do? I really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. It's gotta be blood, right? It's gotta be blood or it's gotta be more gravy. There's a little gate that leads into the garden. It says no entry on the sign, though. Come now, Phoenix Wright, what are you doing? Let's go in! It's half open anyway. What harm could come of it? But it says no entry. Don't you Americans enjoy doing whatever you like and then simply say whatever? That's got nothing to do with anything. And who told you that? Whatever. Oh my god. Let's go in the garden. There's a strange feeling in the air. I wonder what it is. Strange feeling? Forget about that. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern? Ah! What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here. Don't you know, Scruffy? A Von Karma will always show up wherever there is a clue. And there are plenty of clues to be found here. But... So how's the Inner Temple investigation going? We have the best forensic team in the world working the place. Forensic team? And what was the outcome of this scientific study? Nothing. Scientifically speaking, the place is as clean as a whistle. That's simply not good enough, Scruffy. Do you think I'll let you get away with that? Oh. Well, there were a couple of things that bothered me when I first got here, sir. That's that stone lantern and the surrounding areas it's not covered in snow, correct? They look kind of fishy to me, you know, scientifically speaking. So I got the lab boys to look them over. The results were... It's kind of hard to say, actually. I guess I better look into them myself. What the heck is that? That is the word Maya written upside down and backwards. Dude, after that whole, like, Leon thing from Danganronpa, I am well coded to be able to read shit like this. Uh-oh. You spotted it, huh, pal? Are you kidding me? It couldn't be more obvious. It says... Oh, she knows it says it too. How about that? Yeah. And before you ask, it's written in blood. You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy. Without exception. Okay. Well, alright, they didn't even try to make you go through any hoops of like, oh, what could this be? And then there'd be like, the pivotal moment. Try rotate the image or like, what is it? Rotate the image 90 degrees. Or no, 180 degrees. That's what it was. Try rotating the image 180 degrees. What? 180 degrees? That says... What's this? There's a charm or something poking out from the snow. It looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it too. Apparently it belonged to the victim. To Miss Elisa Donim? Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found on both the victim and on this charm match exactly. Sounds to me like this little trinket is going to be my ticket to getting some very big answers. Kurain Master's Talisman. Okay, yeah, that's gonna help. Prove that she's Misty Fae. How do you draw this upside down? Was somebody, like, hanging up here? Like Spider-Man? Do we get some, like, weird exorcist shenanigans going on? Somebody go crazy? There are a couple of torches here. I guess you need all the light you can get up here in the mountains. Yeah, I was looking at those things, pal. It looks like they've been lit pretty recently. Recently? How recent are we talking about? As recent as the night of the murder. Maya was training here on the night of the murder. It's not unreasonable to think these things were lit up at the time, I guess. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. And it's an almost perfect rectangle. It couldn't have happened naturally. Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. No doubt it was you, wasn't it, Scruffy? Huh? No, it wasn't me, sir. It was already like that when my men and I got here to start the investigation. If it wasn't the police, then who did it? Oh, yeah. There's something I need to tell you. Just between the three of us, okay? What is it? It's top secret. You can't tell anyone, got it? Understood. Well, when I was a kid, I got knocked out of the local wrestling contest, you see. I was so disappointed, I just picked up my mouthguard and cried all the way home. Man, I got in so much trouble when I left it on the couch. Is that it? That's it. Gah! Whoever cleared the snow away must have had a reason. Although I can't even begin to imagine what that reason could be. A little lantern, a little statue. It is certainly a quaint little garden. Oh! What is this huge bowl here for? Oh, I know this one. It's a water bowl, isn't it? Everything else is completely frozen over, but the ice in this bowl has been broken. That's true. I wonder if this has any impact on the case. Well, I doused my face earlier with the water in this. I was getting kind of sleepy. Yeah, next time you're sleepy, you need only come to me, got it? Is that all? Alright, well, we still gotta talk to you about this other stuff. About Maya. Oh, did Mr. Godot tell you yet? Yes, we heard. He's got a search party out looking for her, but there's nowhere else she could have disappeared to on this side of Dusky Bridge. All we can do is wait for Mr. Edgeworth to get here, pal. Edgeworth? He's escorting Iris, the defendant, over here. We'll have to wait, since she is the only one who can open the door to the sacred cavern. Oh, I think Mr. Edgeworth wants to talk to you about something too, pal. Huh? I wonder what it is. Just don't be expecting any good news when you talk to him. When I spoke to him, Mr. Edgeworth sounded so down I felt like I was drowning. Sounds pleasant. Maya. So these letters are written in blood? Yeah. What's worse is it's the victim's blood. Huh? This is Miss Donham's blood? We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal. Most interesting. Phoenix Wright. I presume you know, don't you? Why Maya's name is written upside down? You know what? That was really bothering me, too. But I just came up with the answer. The result of my own special gumshoe investigation. Really? Do tell. Well, on the night of the murder, that stone lantern was upside down. God damn it. Anyways, there's really only one logical explanation to this mystery. Miss Elisa Donham wrote these letters herself, in her own blood. You must be joking. That's impossible. From the writing in the victim's blood and the other clues left behind, it seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elisa Donham's murder. At least, that's our current theory on how the events took place, pal. What? So Miss Donham was killed here? However you want to look at it, that's what people are saying now. Then, what Sister Bikini saw in the courtyard at the main temple was... Well, what was it? If that wasn't the scene of the crime, what did she see? What do you think, Miss Von Karma? Surely a special gumshoe investigation would reveal an answer, no? But wait a sec. The bloody writing and all the other clues here. Someone could have easily set all that up after the murder, right? Sorry, but that's not an option, pal. Why not? How quickly you forget, Phoenix Wright. Ever since the incident occurred, this place has been completely inaccessible. Because Dusky Bridge was completely burned out. I was overseeing repairs to the bridge the whole time. No one came over here before me and my men. Which means no one could have planted all this stuff here, pal. Ugh. I can't think of a counter-argument to that. I knew it. I should have washed the blood off the lantern as soon as I got here. If this really was the scene of the crime, then I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. So then we must have all the answers to be able to get her to tell us all about Misty Faye. It must go like this. We go to her, she tells us everything, and then Edgeworth arrives, and we open up the cavern, and we find Maya. Is anybody here? No? Okay. Just curious, you know? It seems you have a visitor. Oh, she's here already. Mr. Wright. Iris, I'm really glad to see you. Godot managed to mobilize the police by claiming a state of emergency. Not him again. Never mind him, we've got to hurry and unlock the sacred cavern. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. It's my fault someone so important to you is locked in there. Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? All right. Let's hurry to the inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright. Wait, Edgeworth! I'm coming with you guys! Sorry, Wright. I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Maya Fey is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by a delicate position? This isn't simply a rescue operation, right? It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth! If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, right? Mr. Wright, all that matters is that Mystic Maya is rescued, correct? Listen to the voice of reason for a change, Phoenix Wright. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We'll be going now. Excuse us. Members of the public? I'm a defense attorney. And you're only you guys are only prosecutors. The hell's the difference between us? Why would you have more clearance than me? This is no time to be standing around, Phoenix Wright. Aren't there other things that demand your attention? She's right. Thanks for reminding me. Sister Bikini looks like she's shrunk some since I last saw her. Don't be so rude, Phoenix Wright. What's wrong, Sister Bikini? My. Hello, you two. How are you doing? From the sound of that sigh, I guess she's still pretty down. Iris was just here, you know. She was accompanied by that handsome crimson-clad prince. Is she talking about Edgeworth? It was just a courtesy call. I wasn't allowed to talk with her at all. Oh dear, it's all my fault that this has happened. Poor Iris, she was worried about my back, would you believe? What have I done to her? Only what you had to do, sister. You bravely and truthfully testified about what you saw. There's no shame in that. And we'll see to it that your testimony wasn't made in vain. Well, I don't hear anyone else saying that. Mr. Blue Suits doesn't seem to share your opinion, I see. Huh? Me? Ah! Oh, yes! You did great, Sister Bikini. Absolutely spectacular! You two are the only ones who've said that to me! I can't shake the feeling that I just became a shill to a shrew. Do you have a problem, Phoenix Wright? Sure, she was brave to testify so truthfully like that. But I know she's still hiding something. Guess it's time to break those cyclocks of hers. Oh, yes. But can we do it? I mean, I know we can do it, but, like, can we do it? Ugh. Damn, I slept till like 11:30. Sister Bikini. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. I'm convinced that Miss Elisa Donham had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has something to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mystic Elisa was an author. Just an author of picture books. To be honest, I had my suspicions almost immediately after I met her. Suspicions? Yes, but I didn't have any evidence to support my theory, though. But now I do. This piece of evidence proves Miss Donham's true identity. Would we start with the talisman? Yes, we would. Miss Donham had this charm with her at all times. Kah! Where did you... This isn't some cheap good luck charm either. Then, what do you think it is, Mr. Wright? What could a talisman like that possibly mean? It's a talisman, is it? Interesting. Oops! This thing speaks volumes about who Miss Donham really was. This talisman and one other item unequivocally prove Miss Donham's true identity. Would that be the hanging scroll? Another item. Can't just say it was the staff, right? Let's try the scroll. Yes! The painting is obscured by this gravy stain at the moment. But this scroll shows the master of the Kurain channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. Ah! This crest is reserved for the master of Kurain. Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about. The new master, Maya Fey, told me. What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Faye's daughter? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. In fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Faye's sole successor. Mystic Misty! Nice. Didn't have to try that hard after all. Mystic Elisa graced us with her presence about a week ago. When she showed me the talisman with that mark on it, well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. What is the significance of this talisman, sister? The Kurain talisman? It's the symbol of the Master of Kurain. The bearer must carry it with them always until their death. Until their death? So Elisa Donham was really Maya's mother, huh? She was Misty Faye, the master of the Kurain channeling technique. The truth comes out at last. It looks like we're making some headway here. Tell me, sister, after 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding. What happened? Well... What's happening? It can't be. Earthquake! Arrgh! Oh my goodness, the inner temple! This kind of tremor might... The inner temple? The sacred cavern in the training hall! It might very well cave in! What? Maya! It seems to have passed. Well, we can't just stand here and do nothing, let's go! What? Where? To the inner temple, of course, where else? Sister Bikini, we'll finish this later, alright? Of course, you run along now. People may have been hurt. I must get some first aid kits ready. Come on then, Phoenix Wright. They won't bar you from entering as long as I'm with you. Thank you. Right at that moment, I had the worst feeling in my gut. We just had an earthquake. I wonder if he's alright. Oh yeah, that's right, he's terrified of earthquakes. You look worried. Are you thinking about Miles Edgeworth? Come on, let's go. We've got to hurry to the inner temple and... Right. Ah! What are you doing here? Ugh. How could I have... How do you expect us to understand if you don't speak up? Yo! Hey, why am I the one getting whipped? Shh, she's gone. No! The defendant, Iris, she's gone. Gone where? She fled. She escaped. What? So, it was just now, during the... It's easy to see Edgeworth's one and only weakness, his fear of earthquakes. I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes, and I stupidly passed out. That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? That's no excuse for letting the suspect get away. I can't believe I let it happen. Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side. We haven't seen her. Then we need to get a manhunt underway now and search Eagle Mountain from top to bottom. Wait, Edgeworth. Have you thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I? The inner temple is like an island. There's no way to escape but to cross. No, that's not it. Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. Then you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation? Listen, Edgeworth. I'm sure she's at the inner temple. A manhunt is not necessary. Right. Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the training hall sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in. But what we found, was something none of us could have ever expected. What? How can there be even more locks? What is the meaning of this? Iris! Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on? Oh, come on. Episode's not over. We're only 25 minutes in. I mean, I see why people like this case now. It's very intense now. Right, is this what Godot was talking about? Yeah, the trick locks. Now then, Iris, please remove these at once. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm afraid I can't. It's not possible for me. What? During the earthquake, when the cavern was in danger of caving in, Iris escaped. And I know that there was only one lock when I last came here. So you're saying that you can't undo the new locks? Yes. If only I was stronger. Edgeworth, how are you feeling? You look a little pale in the face. Like you're one to talk with your face all green. Miles Edgeworth, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous, I'm perfectly There's no telling what sort of mistakes you could make in your current state. Go and get some rest. That's your only concern now, Miles Edgeworth. Understood. I'll handle the investigation in the garden. You take care of things here. Edgeworth? He's got so much pride that he's probably off crying in a corner of the garden. Pride is simply another trap that hinders us in our lives. That said, one must have pride to be effective on the job. At any rate, it seems that this is where we part ways, Miss Phoenix Wright. Miss Phoenix Wright, I said that for some reason. I'm going to stay here and see if I can't help solve these bothersome puzzles. I see. Well, thanks for your help. Now then, do you mind if I ask you a few things, Iris? No, not at all. Why did you make a run for it, Iris? I'm sorry. I heard the inner temple had been severely shaken by the strong earthquake we had. I was so worried, I just had to come and see. In other words, you didn't run away to escape the law. At least we're clear on that. I can't tell you how relieved I was when I saw the sacred cavern was all right, but... But what? Then I saw these chains here. I saw all these extra locks that someone had put on the sacred cavern's door, and... Who in the world would do something like this? You! These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Kurain tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who sets these locks? I don't think it's that simple, Franziska von Karma. When we were here the first time, there was only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. What does that mean? It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they wanted to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. This means that Iris can only open one of these locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. What? Iris, try to think, please. Isn't there any way around this? Well, like I said, there are hundreds of different ways to set these locks. I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day if I had to guess. A whole day? Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Sure, I'll do whatever I can. We've got to wait another day? Hang in there, Maya. You're going to have to call on your inner strength now. You know what, Iris? There's still one thing I don't quite get. And what might that be, Phoenix Wright? I think it's obvious. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. You told us that you were in your room at Hazakura Temple at the time of the incident, but you were seen that same evening at the Inner Temple. And then, you were spotted at the scene of the crime in Hazakura Temple too. Being spotted at both Hazakura Temple and the Inner Temple, it's as if you were... Well, Iris, I think it's about time you told us the truth. Oh, you're gonna set up even more locks, huh? Your specialty. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. Boy. I mean, we probably don't know how to break these locks. So let's see what else there is to do. Huh, guess we're going. Let's go back to the garden. Check on Edgeworth. The cops are still combing the place. They look pretty nervous. I'd be nervous too. It's gotta be a tough job. Especially with someone giving you the evil eye the whole time. How could I have done that? Wow, I can't believe it's still bothering him. Edgeworth? Ah! Hey, don't you dare run away! What do you want, Wright? What do I want? If you came here to laugh at me, then get on with it. Go on, laugh away! I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's just the same prideful Edgeworth. You went back to the Criminal Affairs Department, right? You said you wanted to look into something concerning Iris. Yes. And thanks to what I found, I was reminded of something terrible. You guys are putting a lot of effort into the investigation of the garden here, huh? There's a high chance this is the actual scene of the crime. That's why. You mean because of the writing in blood and the talisman in the snow? Exactly. As you know, those things couldn't have been planted here after the murder. But surely you don't suspect... Maya, do you? We have to treat everyone as a suspect. Maya as well as Iris. It's our job, right? So, I guess you still haven't gotten over your fear of earthquakes. No, though thankfully my nightmares have stopped. But still, if the ground gives even the slightest tremor, I find myself short of breath. 17 years ago, when we were little school kids at the same elementary school, Edgeworth found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Yes, I was stuck in the elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. It's been more than 17 years now. And that case was finally resolved 2 years ago, right? You think I don't know that? I was there, but... It was such a shock. I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, Wright. There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake. And not after you saved me. Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay? There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I'd seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I'd seen her in court before. So you went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look for her file? Yes. I checked over every case file I've ever worked on. And I was right. I had seen her face before 6 years ago. 6 years ago? It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, Wright. I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple, and neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. You're wrong, Edgeworth. She's totally related to this case. I need to fill Edgeworth in. I need to explain the connection between Iris and the woman Edgeworth knew. Apparently, Iris was taken in by the sisters here at the temple when she was a child. However, we still don't know much about her past, so we're looking into it. That reminds me. Edgeworth went back to the Criminal Affairs Department to look up some stuff on her. I should ask him what he's found. We already did that. I have to tell... How do I tell him stuff, then? She's 49? Dude, look! There's only a year apart difference! Wow. Okay. Dude, where is Pearl? We just let her run off again. Like, oh well, she's fine. I'm finally getting to the bottom of this case. I can count on Iris to break those locks, so I should try to gather more clues. From Sister Bikini, Edgeworth, Gumshoe, and Pearls. It's weird that there's no one around all of a sudden. Sure gets quiet up here in the mountains when you're all on your own. Speaking of alone, guess I should go check out the shack just down this path. Maybe I'll find Larry there sulking again.
Oh, Mr. Nick!
Pearls, what are you doing here?
Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright?
Well, we don't know yet.
Oh, I see.
Hey, what do you think you're doing here, Nick? Larry. This is the Losers' Shack, where losers get together to lose themselves. This is the what? Hey, we find comfort in each other's failures, okay? You got a problem with that?
Look, Mr. Nick. Mr. Larice did a picture of me.
That's, great, Pearls. We're going to gather firewood now. We'll be cooking some half-rotten potatoes over a miserable little campfire. So stay out of our way! I don't believe this. Why can't he try getting fired up over becoming a better man? No one believes a word I say anymore. Listen to me, Pearl. You don't want to trust this kind of guy, okay? He'll only let you down.
Oh, Mystic Maya.
Larry, is there something you want to tell me about this picture? Hey, I've got nothing to say to you, Nick. My life's here now with Pearl. Two losers cooking potatoes together forevermore. What am I going to do with him? Alright then, what do you think about this picture, Pearls? Or what do you think about this picture, Pearls?
I think it's really well drawn. I can't draw at all, so I think it's really amazing.
See? Someone appreciates it! It's tough getting the flames to look like that, you know?
It's supposed to be Sister Iris flying through the air, isn't it? I love it! It's like a dream! A wonderful fantasy!
No, it wasn't a dream! She really flew, I'm telling you! Iris really flew that night!
But Mr. Larice...
Not you too. Please don't look at me like that, Pearl. Don't look at me like I'm some kind of nutcase, I beg of you! I guess this picture really is a representation of what Larry thinks he saw. Okay, so I was half asleep when I was here that night. But I was wide awake after the lightning struck, and I saw what I saw! It was exactly like I drew in the picture! And it looks like I don't have any choice but to take this sketch at face value. Hey, what's with the look of doubt on your face? Pearls?
Yes, Mr. Nick?
I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all happened? Please don't be Cyclops.
It's gonna be Cyclops. I was just, well, I'm just a kid, you know? I'm sure it doesn't really matter what I was doing, does it, Mr. Nick?
Sorry, Pearls, but yes, it does. On the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Miss Donham's room reading a book together. But Miss Donham was murdered and you, Pearls, were at the inner temple. Just what exactly happened that night, Pearls?
I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick.
Yep.
I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being punished.
What are you talking about, Pearls?
My spiritual power, it has disappeared.
What? Her powers have disappeared? Was her Magatama always blue? Is that what it means when it's like empty? What do you mean your power has disappeared, Pearls?
It's all over for me. A spirit medium who can't channel spirits is like a painter who can't paint.
Hey, what are you looking at me for? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps? Way to go, Nick. You made her cry. That was really cruel of you. Just as I thought. I'm going to have to break her Cyclops to get the truth out of her. And that makes 2 people. Alright, guess we're leaving you behind then. There's so many people to talk to. This is such a long investigation. I wonder if Sister Bikini is back at the main hall yet. I haven't seen Gumshoe around for a while either. Maybe they're having a cup of tea together somewhere. I bet Gumshoe is Sister Bikini's type.
Well, what's the damage? How is the sacred cavern?
It looks like it survived, but we have a bigger problem now. I told Sister Bikini all about it. About the 5 locks that were stopping us from getting inside the sacred cavern.
But who could have done that? The only people who know how to set those trick locks are those of the Kurain tradition.
We have Iris at the sacred cavern trying her best to open them for us right now. Actually, there's something I've been meaning to talk with you about, Sister Bikini.
Oh yes, we were in the middle of a chat, weren't we?
Yes, you were telling me how the Master of Kurain disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Misty Faye suddenly appeared at this temple.
It was about a week ago when Mystic Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the Master, she said, "Someone is trying to destroy the Kurain tradition's main family line. I am here to put a stop to them."
Someone was trying to destroy the main family line?
There is only one heir to the title of Master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new Master of Kurain, and her daughters the main family. All other mediums become branch family members, with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Branch families always have, and always will, plot to erase those of the main family line.
Just like that one old lady did in that... Was that the first game? I think it was. Is the power of the Master worth this much bloodshed? I forgot what her name was. The one who we wanted to have sound like Maleficent, but I can't do the voice. Ooh, is she back at it again? Shouldn't she still be in jail, though?
You believe in the technique, don't you, Mr. Wright? You know its power is real. Yes, I do. It's been 2 years since I first met Maya. In that time, I've seen her channel the spirits of the dead plenty of times. During the Mask to Mask case, and during Maggie Bird's trial, too. Thanks to Maya, Mia's always on hand to help me out when I need her the most. The Kurain technique has made a huge difference to the world, you know. I mean, the ability to commune with the dead. That's true psychic power, you know. Members of the tradition have always been there, behind every important leader. Who wouldn't respect such a tremendous skill? I suppose so, but with all that power and influence, I kind of expected you'd be really rich by now. Are you saying we're poor, Mr. Wright? Oh, you're very direct, aren't you? People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. A mistake? What mistake? It was 17 years ago. That's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident? Is she talking about what I think she is? I'm sure the records still exist if you're interested. Locked up, of course. It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. The DL6 incident. I knew it! The DL6 incident. I know it well. I handled a related case just 2 years ago. Ah, that's right. So it was you who was the defense attorney on that case. A murder that took place 17 years ago. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium who performed the channeling was Misty Fey, Maya's mother. Through Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And the case remained a mystery. In other words, we failed. It was the first case the world had ever seen the Kurain tradition openly involved in. It was all over the media. The public, the judiciary, the people of Kurain Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Mystic Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared. Vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. But I know the truth. Misty Fey's spirit channeling wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Kurain tradition is starting to recover at last. But with a new master wielding the power of the clan... Does she mean Maya? The spiritual power of the Kurain channeling technique is in the blood. Maya's told me the exact same thing before. We, the women of the Fey clan, have always been spirit mediums. It's because the power to communicate with spirits flows strongly through us. According to Maya, only the women in the family can inherit that power. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Amy, but with each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right. And it's always the cause of tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister too, an older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother, and lost her life as a result. Do you know what Mystic Mia is rumored to have said? She said it wasn't only because of her mother that she became a lawyer. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right. Misty Fey had an elder sister too. And Misty, having superior powers, managed to usurp the Master's seat from her. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. Morgan? There's a name I know well. It was a year ago now at Maya's home, Kurain Village. What she did was terrible. It was all so she could make her own daughter the next master. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris...
Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this?
That Iris is Mystic Morgan's daughter.
What? Iris is what? Is she kidding me? Iris is Morgan Fay's daughter? Did you just say that Iris is Morgan Fay's daughter?
Oops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already.
I have. I know her very well.
Oh?
Yes, Pearls. Pearl Fay. But I always thought she was an only child.
You jest! That child? She's Mystic Morgan's? I had no idea. Mystic Morgan. But she's in prison now, isn't she?
Yes. Ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master.
I see. So I've been wrong all this time.
Dude, what if Morgan killed herself in prison? And then sort of forced Pearls to channel her? And then had Pearls do all this shit.
Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2.
Wait, what? 3?
Yes, Iris, her twins...
Oh, fuck off. Dude, no. Absolutely not. I'm not on board with this story anymore. It just took an absolute nosedive into Shitsville. What? Twin sister?
Yeah, sorry, no, this case just lost all credibility. Oh, didn't you know? It all happened 20 years ago. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Kurain's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking their twin daughters with him.
How awful.
He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up, to be looked after by us here at the temple.
Why?
That was Iris, you see.
It's unbelievable. If Iris has a twin sister... Could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris's sister?
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler.
Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Thank you very much. You've helped clear up a lot of details. Pearls had 2 older sisters, huh?
Yes, that's right. No doubt it was all because of Mystic Morgan's anger towards the main family.
Anger? What do you mean?
Her twin daughters were taken from her by her jeweler husband, but even that couldn't destroy her dream that a child of hers would one day lead the clan.
That's why she had Pearls?
It seems that the incident here was a result of Mystic Morgan's anger. It was able to break free of the bars that confine her.
So Iris has a twin sister. The plot thickens. No, the plot disappears entirely. But this information will be useless unless I can flesh it out a bit. I need to ask more questions and get some more info.
Well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.